Today I'm going to walk you through the Panasonic LUMIX photography kit I use for my client work and explain why I've chosen each camera and lens combo. Most of my photography work involves kids, candid school portraits, school events and private children's parties with unpredictable light and a lot going on, so this is the setup I use for the type of work I do. My main bag is the Timber Access 20 litre. It fits everything I need with 3 access points and has extra storage at the front and sides for accessories and paperwork. I've set it up so I can switch between both camera setups easily while keeping all my additional kit organised in the main compartment. It doesn't have a section for a laptop, so I take a separate bag with me if I need to bring my MacBook Pro to shoots. My main camera and lens combo is the Panasonic S1II paired with the Panasonic S Pro 70-200 f2.8. Out of all the LUMIX cameras I've owned, the S1II is my favourite for the work I do. The 24 megapixel files gives me enough flexibility to crop when needed, and I can manage the raw file sizes for my workflow. The S Pro 70-200 f2.8 is the lens I rely on the most. A lot of my work takes place in challenging lighting, whether that's indoors or outdoors, and the faster aperture is really useful. It's a heavy lens, but the placement of the zoom ring makes it comfortable to use for long shoots. It's also fully weather sealed, which is important when I'm shooting outdoors in the rain. For school photography, around 80% of my images are shot using this setup. My second camera is the Panasonic S1RII paired with the Sigma 28-70 f2.8 DGDN contemporary lens. I use this wider lens on the S1RII because of the high resolution sensor, which gives me more flexibility to crop in post or use the hybrid zoom feature when I need extra reach. The Sigma 28-70 is very lightweight, which makes it easy to carry alongside the 70-200 setup. That balance and weight matters a lot when you're shooting for hours. The lens is sealed at the mount but not fully weather sealed, so I try and avoid using it in the rain. I love owning both of these cameras. The partially stacked sensor in the S1II complements the high resolution sensor in the S1R2, giving me lots of options for both photo and video. If I'm shooting with my husband, we can swap cameras mid-event and stay within the same ecosystem, sharing the same lenses, batteries and accessories, which makes a big difference under pressure. We also have our own custom preset set up on both cameras, so switching bodies doesn't slow us down no matter which camera we're shooting with. For events, I also pair the S1R2 with another Sigma contemporary lens, the ultra-wide 16-28mm f2.8. This is my go-to lens for establishing shots, capturing venues and room decor. It usually gets used at the start of events before I switch back to the 28-70. With these 3 lenses, I'm covered from 16-200mm at f2.8. Both cameras are set up for dual recording, and I capture both RAW and JPEGs to both cards, so if one card fails, I always have a backup. Each camera has 512GB CF Express and SD cards, so I don't have to think about swapping cards mid-shoot, and the extra capacity is great for video. In the front section of the bag, I carry my DBS certificate and ID, which I need at all times when working with schools. I also keep a couple of spare SD cards, a power bank and cables in there. I use a mixture of Panasonic and SmallRig batteries across both cameras. For events with my husband, I'll usually take 8 batteries, and for solo 3 to 4 hour school shoots, I'll take 4. I like the SmallRig ones because they're color-coded and they have built-in USB charging, which makes charging on the go much easier. Both cameras are set up with mounting plates for my Spider holster dual system. It's a belt and holster setup that shifts the weight from my neck and shoulders down to my hips. I tend to clip it on the outside of my bag when taking it to shoots. All of my cameras have the Peak Design anchors, and I keep one Peak Design strap in the bag, just in case I'm using a single camera and I don't want to use the holster. Next, we have the Hoya UV filters. I have these on all of my lenses to protect the front element from scratches, scuffs, and accidental knocks. I also carry a lens cleaning kit, but I make sure all my lenses are clean before I go on a shoot. This setup does change slightly depending on the job. When shooting with my husband, we also take an S9 as a spare camera body. I don't use a flash for the work I do for schools, but for very low light events it makes sense to have one, so I've recently added my first flash, the Godox V1 Pro, to my kit. I'll likely do a dedicated video on it once I've used it properly. So that's my current LUMIX photography kit for client work. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions about this setup, please drop me a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more LUMIX content.